Hello, my name is Lo and I'm currently in Melbourne. Today's video is not particularly happy, which is why I am sitting in nature because I didn't want to be in a drab, dreary environment for a drab, dreary video. This video is about how coronavirus has affected me as a traveler. And before I get into it, I do want to clarify, I'm not trying to say that my experiences or my troubles as the result of coronavirus are somehow worse than anybody else's. I mean, there are people literally dying, and I don't want to say that my travels being interrupted or whatever is worse than that. By no means. I just wanted to share some of my experiences, and maybe other people are kind of in similar situations or can find commonalities, feel a little less alone. So let's get into it. The first way that coronavirus has affected my travels is that it's just hard to enjoy traveling right now, just in general. I mean, it sounds very shallow, and again, I don't want to say that this is like the worst thing that's ever happened to anyone, but I came to Australia in order to go to specific cities and see specific sites and go to specific restaurants and meet new people, and that has been very difficult with coronavirus. So it feels like I'm just like wasting my time, and that there's no reason why I should be here, and that it just kind of sucks, and I'm just constantly stressed out. I don't want to get sick or get anybody else sick, and all of that is just making it very difficult to enjoy traveling, which is supposed to be a very enjoyable experience. The second way that coronavirus has affected me as a traveler is that it just makes everything so uncertain. And I know travelers aren't the only people who experience this. I mean, college students are being sent home with very little warning, and people are losing their jobs. But I think that that kind of stuff hits even harder when you are on the other side of the world with no stable home, no family, no long-term friends around. So for me, everything is just incredibly uncertain right now. I mean, I've already had to cancel a couple trips throughout Australia, other cities that I wanted to see, and I was supposed to go to Europe in May, and it really does not seem like that's going to be happening. And I'm trying to work with my Airbnbs and my hostels and my airlines, but I don't know how much of that money I'm going to get back. I don't know what kind of budget I'm going to be working on. I spent my first month or so here working at a cafe, and then I stopped working there when I thought that I had enough money to fund the rest of my travels. Well, I mean, now my travels might be extended if I can't get back into the US, or I might be losing a lot of money if I can't get refunds on all of my stuff. So I'm probably going to end up needing a lot more money than I previously expected to, and I think it's going to be a lot harder to make money now because all of these restaurants and cafes and stuff are shutting down. So yeah, I mean, to me, the uncertainty is what's really getting me down. I'm okay not having plans, and I am generally very like go with the flow kind of person, but I don't know even where I'm gonna be staying tonight because I was supposed to be at a hostel in Adelaide instead of in Melbourne, and then one of my friends said that I could stay at her house, but now her family is worried that her grandmother, who lives right next door, might get sick if more people are staying at her house, which I totally understand, and I don't fault them for that. Obviously, I get it, but it's just stressful. I don't know where I'm sleeping tonight. And of course, I'm incredibly privileged, and if it comes down to it, I know I'm in a situation where I have enough money to get a new hostel and just take that financial hit. Like, I can deal with it. It's not going to be fun, but I'll be able to get through it. And I know some other people might not be so lucky, so I don't mean to seem ungrateful, but it is just very stressful to be trying to deal with all of this uncertainty. Being on the other side of the world, not having a home to go back to easily if it comes down to it, it's just kind of stressful. Number 3 is that as a traveler, there are just a lot of increased risks. I've been on a lot more planes in the last month than most people have. I have been staying in hostels where your room is shared with like 10 other people, where you're meeting people from all over the world who you don't know where they've been, you don't know who they've been in contact with. So there's, I think, a lot more risk in being a traveler because you're being exposed to a lot more potential harm. The other note on risk, and I might get a little pushback on this, but I think a lot of travelers kind of get this cocky attitude where, and like I get it, because a lot of them have experienced like really weird or hard or strange things during their travels and they've gotten through it. So I think somewhere subconsciously a lot of people, including me to some degree, start thinking like,
oh, well, if I lived through that, if I was able to make it through that, I'll be fine during this pandemic.
While I understand where it comes from, that kind of behavior can be incredibly dangerous because people just aren't seeing this as the risk that it is. And I'm glad that a lot of people are starting to take it more seriously and starting to realize that this is actually an issue. But I think that within this traveler backpacker community, that process probably takes a little bit longer and ends up prolonging the risk. Number 4 is logistics complications. So, I mean, if I were to get sick, I don't know how that would work with my US insurance, and I know I have some kind of travel insurance, but I think that that's mostly like for canceled flights and stuff like that, not for health emergencies. I don't know how my travel insurance will work with canceled accommodations in places that I had to not travel to. There's just a lot of logistical stuff with insurance that I have no idea how it's all gonna play out. Along with logistics, there's also the fact that if somebody gets sick and needs to be quarantined while they're a traveler, where are they gonna be quarantined? Are they gonna go back to their hostel where they're sharing a room with like 13 other people? There just like aren't really great solutions to a lot of these questions in general, and then it gets just so much more complicated when you're in a different country with different laws, with different medical systems and stuff like that. I just don't know. Like, I don't even know how insurance works in Australia. So if I get sick, I just don't know what I'm gonna do. And the 5th and final and probably most significant way that coronavirus is affecting me as a traveler is that I'm just not at home. And you know, when stuff like this happens, when a pandemic hits, when a natural disaster strikes, or when you have a death in the family, like whenever anything bad happens, you want to be with your family. You want to be with your friends of multiple years who have seen you through the highs and the lows. You don't want to be at a hostel with some people that you've gone out for drinks with 3 times. You know what I mean? And I'm so grateful that, you know, I have a phone and I have internet and I can click a button and be talking to my family back in Nashville when I'm still here in Melbourne. But I mean, it's just not the same, and there's a limit to how much support you can give or receive over the phone as opposed to in person. And like now I'm stuck in this position where it seems like things aren't as bad in Australia currently as they are in the US. So I don't think it would be helpful to me or anybody else if I go back to Nashville right now. I would be quarantined upon getting home. I wouldn't really have a house back in Nashville to stay at. I wouldn't be able to go out and enjoy the things that I love about Nashville and do the things that make me feel happy about home. So then my other option would be to stay here and be apart from everybody and be worried about them and them be worried about me, and we're not able to give each other hugs, and the best support that I have here right now is people that I met about a month ago, which they're great, they're fantastic, and they're trying to help me out in finding a place to stay, which I'm incredibly grateful for. I don't know what I would do without them, but like, that's pretty much my only support at this point, and that just kind of sucks. And then if things do end up getting worse and I do end up in a situation where it would be better to go back to Nashville, it's like, well, what if by that point there are more travel restrictions and I'm not going to be able to get in? It's, again, uncertainty, but uncertainty with regards to my support system and my friends and my family, and it has been making me feel pretty isolated here, and I know that a lot of other travelers are experiencing the same thing, so I want to share my experience, and hopefully we can all feel isolated together, and that might help, I guess. And before I end this video, I do want to say, I mean, this sucks. Like, when I was planning on going on a trip to Australia and Europe, I was not expecting this to happen. And nobody was expecting this. And it's been very stressful and harmful in lots of different ways to lots of different people. But I do want to try to find something good out of it. And I think that that something is that I'm really learning to appreciate what I have every single day. I mean, yeah, I'm stranded in Australia, but I'm in Australia. That's still pretty cool, right? Or like, I can't be with my friends, but because they're all quarantined at home and they're really bored, we're able to talk on the phone a little bit more. So, you know, silver linings. And I'm trying to appreciate every day that I have here, even though it's not going exactly as I was hoping for it to go. You know, it's just, you have to be in the right mindset, and you have to look at things still as an opportunity. I'm trying to see this as an opportunity to form closer bonds with other people who are experiencing these same kinds of issues. I'm trying to take this stress and this uncertainty and learn to be more okay with that, learn how to work through that stress and uncertainty, and, you know, just be content with my life as it is, even if it's not going as well as I hoped. And clearly this is a extreme example, but that's the kind of stuff that happens in life, right? Like, things always just happen that you're not expecting, and you have to figure out how to work through it and how to continue building relationships and how to make the most of it. And I think this is just one really extreme example of that. Oh God, yeah, we just gotta keep living, keep trying to be happy, keep trying to connect with other people, call the people you love even if you can't see them face to face for whatever reason, if you're quarantined, if you're in a different country, whatever the reason is, talk to the people you love, support them. That's how we're gonna get through this. So yeah, I mean, I guess that's really all I have to say. Enjoy your life however much you can. Wash your hands, protect vulnerable people in our society by not going to bars and stuff. Please don't go to gatherings. Stay safe. Yeah, cool. Thanks. Bye.